Hi there folks, Gareth here, and we have a little package that's arrived in from Asus. This is the Asus ZenPad 8.0. They've also shipped in a Asus ZenPad 8.0 power case and the Asus ZenPad case. We're going to have a look at all three of these and see how they work together. First of all, we'll start with this, the main tablet. Okay, so this is I guess it's probably safe to say it changes price depending on what you have inside. There's all kinds of different configurations for this, and it starts off at about £99. This is the 16GB model, it says there. Intel Sophia, that's the Atom processor, metallic, 2MP camera, 5MP camera. Okay, we'll have a quick rundown of the specs on the way. Hopefully the insides of this package will be a little more forthcoming with specifications. Okay, so this is the box. It looks like a pretty swanky design, to be honest, with the little box. It opens like a pizza box, if you like. And we can see right away that it's white. And that's the fabric on the back. Quite excited about having a further look at that. Right, we have the Asus wall charger here. 3-pin travel style. And if memory is correct, this might be... No, memory is not correct. This has a micro USB on it. That's not USB-C. Oh, okay, fair enough. Right, so in search of the incredible on the warranty card, user guide. That's it. Tablet and charger. Okay, so let's jump into the tablet itself. We can rip off the plastic here. And initially we're thinking, actually, there's a bit of weight to it. There's a bit of heft here. Not unpleasantly weighty or anything. It's quite light. And the specifications say it's 350 grams. But it's a good solid feeling, you know. Because of the size of the tablet, it's not as thin as the Samsung Galaxy S or Samsung Galaxy Tab S or S2 for that matter. However, you know, I don't think they're actually trying to be. I think they're going more for a design and a little bit of elegance. And this is an IPS LCD capacitive display, which does 16 million colors. And they like to brag on their website that it's 72.2% screen ratio. So they've spent the time to design it so that it fits as much of the screen on as possible with minimal bezel, and it's for the most part is quite successful. Across here we have some daubings that say DTS HD Premium Sound, 5.1 channel audio cover optional. Ooh, could be one of these. Intel 64-bit quad-core, Asus ZenPad 8.0, interchangeable, and visual master true to life. It's really quite difficult to make out that writing. Hopefully you can in the video. My eyes aren't doing too well on it. Must be getting old. So we have a loudspeaker up here, a front-facing camera. Down the bottom we have nothing, but I'm imagining there might be, well, maybe not capacitive buttons there. They're probably on the screen. On the side we have a volume up down rocker and a power button. And now we'll leave the tablet to boot up whilst we go through the around it, or go around it. On the bottom we just have a microphone there. Along here there is a nothing. And on the top we have the 3.5mm headphone jack plus a micro SD card connector. Right, the camera is here, and this is a pinkish back. I don't know if you can see that in the light on the screen here. It doesn't look to be representing it too well, but there's a pink hue to it, and it says Asus ZenPad here, Intel inside. For the most part, aside from being pink, it's quite lovely. It feels good in the hand. The texture on the back really does add to it. I'll do this. You can hear it's plastic, although there is a real texture to it there. You can see it's almost like snake skin type effect, or wrinkly old man effect. We'll go with wrinkly old man effect. But yeah, it feels good in the hand, and this little bit down here just feels nice for your thumb, although you're probably inclined to hold it more so like that. But then you turn it like that, and you got the whole, or both hands have this on the back. Yeah, it's nice. Okay, so we'll set her up and start moving into the camera, or into the tablet, and see what it says. So we should be running Android 5.0 out of the box, which is going to be a bit of a turn off for some. I don't see any information to say that Marshmallow is on its way, but I would imagine that it is, and a company would be mad not to release Marshmallow on a device right now. The Wi-Fi does appear to be quite strong. It's picking up one of the wireless networks down in the house. And straight up, the sound is coming out of here. There doesn't seem to be another speaker around the device, which may be cause for concern. That's the only speaker, but it is front facing, so if you're listening to your media or watching a movie or something like that, it's going to be coming out of here. There isn't one on this side. So inside, it actually has an Intel Atom X3 C3200 processor, which is a quad-core processor, and we have an update. Well, we'll go with an install now. The resolution is 1200 by 800, and it's got a 10-point multi-touch screen. It has both Bluetooth and wireless built in, obviously, BGN. The camera on the front is a 2 megapixel, as we saw on the back of the box, and on the back is a 5 megapixel. And while that's implying the update, I'm just looking over to my right and remembering that I have a few optional extras for this. So we're going to open these up and have a quick peek and see what they're like. To say, the packaging is a lot more pleasant than I'd imagined it would be. That's about as far as that goes out. It shows here that there's a... That's the backing of the actual tablet. I'm not entirely sure what this is. It's a power case. Here we have a little power adapter, like so. And it takes a wire along there. And then on here we have a battery. In search of the incredible user guide. Okay, getting to know your power case. There's a camera hole, battery power, or battery case power case battery even, power case connector, and LED charging light. So you connect this to the USB and then stick that on there, and it'll charge this battery. And then you can rip the battery off that and stick this on. And it's white, not pink. It's a bit more manly. That's a really decent idea. It's something that I never expected to see. It's an interchangeable battery that is actually built into the back of the case. That's kind of cool. Kind of odd. Well, I suppose you get third-party manufacturers manufacturing these as well. It means you can change the look of your tablet if you're not entirely happy with the girliness of it. Obviously we pull this here and it pulls it off, but as it's doing an update I'm not going to do that just right now. Okay, so let's have a look at the other little box here. This is the Zen case. Okay. The black here obviously signifies the fact that this is black. So we have a third back cover for it. This one without a battery in it, and it's just a piece of plastic that we will place over. There does seem to be all kinds of fitments here, but it doesn't really do anything. It is just an Asus piece of plastic. Right. There's not much we can do with these. You can see from the profile just how different these are. Because obviously there's a battery in one and not in the other. So this will make the back of the tablet somewhat more bulbous, whereas that's just a good looking piece of plastic maybe. Even down to the camera cutout, you can see there's quite a bit of distance here that the groove sits out for the camera. Then we look at the back where the camera is actually sitting. That would sit just flush with this. Yet this, you know, it'll almost double the width of the tablet. But then I'm guessing with this you're probably going to have a massive amount of battery power on top of the battery that's already there. And then this must actually hook into the battery that's on the back. I look forward to opening the back of this tablet once it finishes doing its system update. And I'm guessing that the microSD card goes in here, and I'm interested to see whether or not this is a 3G version. That'd be kind of nice. Inside the tablet is a 4000 milliamp hour battery that they say will give you up to about 9 hours worth of battery life. Inside the power case is a 4330 milliamp hour battery. Well, that should be good for 9 hours and 25 minutes then, or 9 hours and 13 minutes. No, I do apologize. It says rated capacity 2600 milliamp hours. It says the cell capacity is 4330. And it's lithium ion. I'm doing a little research about the device. There does seem to be a couple of different versions that are available on the market at the moment. The UK model is apparently coming standard with a 1.8 gigahertz processor inside and 2 gigabytes of RAM with 32 gigabytes of storage. Okay, so after a long and rather lengthy update there, we're back in the action. I didn't see the point in having a quick look at the device with the stock stuff that was on it. There does seem to be a great deal of confusion as to the model numbers of these devices. There are that many of them, to be honest. Okay, there is many different configurations to the device and various different shipping lanes in which this follows. There is also the ZenPad S 8.0, which is a different story altogether. A bit like Samsung, they tend to be putting out a couple of different tablets at the same time. Some with Intel Atoms inside, others with Qualcomm's inside, and now, well, I guess this has the Intel inside. Okay, it's looking, thankfully from Google, it's looking to restore the backup from my Note S 8.4. today, which is kind of handy. And that'll probably take a wee while to do. I'm busting to get to the settings menu to have a look and see what kind of specs are inside this, because I just don't know what model this is. The back of the box is not really helpful at all, other than knowing that it's the Z380C. I suppose I could Google that and see what that is. With 16 gigabytes on board. It does say 2G there, and DDR3 RAM, 1 gigabyte, and then the cameras. It lists the size of the cameras, but other than that, couldn't tell you. Okay, so we can set up an Asus account. Allows you to register your product. We suggest doing it in 30 days. Well, may as well do it now, why not? Okay, so we're checking in here. I thought I'd just, whilst that's doing that, I'd have a quick look at the actual keyboard here. You can see the quality of the screen is pretty good. They're clear letters, and whilst it's hardly groundbreaking, it's not exactly a retina display or anything, but it does do the business. Okay, straight up, we were asked to sync all of our accounts, put in your details, Gmail, email, LinkedIn, OneDrive for Asus. Does seem to be pretty connected, this. It's a... you could spend about 20 minutes doing this. And then we've got set world date and time. Ooh, and we get 100 gigabytes of Google Drive. Awesome. Mine just expired last month. Great news. So that's a nice incentive there. Okay. And you can wirelessly transfer contacts, calendar, messages, and stuff like that. And it spent its time installing all of the bits and pieces. So we're going to keep Asus Launcher for the time being. It does look to still be downloading lots of stuff. But we have Asus applications right from the word go. We have People, Do It Later, File Manager, Clock, Music, Weather, Auto Start Manager. That might be quite good. Power Save. We've got 1 hour and 9 minutes left. Web Storage and Splendid. Splendid. That sounds splendid. We can amend the color temperature of the screen to make it colder and warmer. Blue light filter. My word. For text only. Vivid. Wow, that made it a lot redder. And customized. Okay, we'll just keep it unbalanced and stick that in the middle there. Reset the default. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, what else do we have in there? Web storage. Does this bring up our Google Drive and Asus web storage? Okay, so it does seem to be Asus web storage, cloud storage from Asus, which is odd because it gives you 100 gigabytes worth of Google Drive. Why bother having their own one? So my sync folder allows you to sync to your web storage. Alright, well, I'm busting to get into the settings here to see what we're running. It's got a nice overlay on the drop down menu with a bunch of stuff down here. Asus Launcher Update. Tap to get the new version. And we got a memory booster built right in there. Battery life extended. I actually missed what that said there because I was looking at the camera. So we'll go to our settings and fire down to the system and hit about. So we're running on Android version 5.02. And we're going to have a quick play with the camera before the battery goes. Let's lay these two beasties out. Start tap to focus, long press to lock focus. That took a considerable amount of time to take a picture there. And we'll get a picture of the power adapter. Alright. So quality wise, the camera is okay. That's fairly crisp and sharp. It's not totally remarkable, but you know, for a 5 megapixel camera that's on the back of a cheapy tablet, it does quite well. It's positioned right up there, so it is outside of your finger range. You're not really going to... Ooh, it's really quite warm. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll rip this off and see what happens. See what it looks like underneath. And that does appear to be exactly the same as this black one here, so we have a spare one that we don't really need that's pink. If anyone wants a pink one, let me know. In under here, there's nothing really to write home about. We have the microSD card slot there, and that charge mechanism for this beast here. You can obviously charge that away from the device, but if we put this on, because I am quite interested to see, I've attached the battery, which is showing here at the top right hand corner that the extra battery has been added, and it does make a bit of a bulbous and fatter tablet. However, depending on what way you're looking at it, you know, if you use it like this, you're not really going to notice it that much, and having this amount of battery power on it will keep this up and running for a good few days. You can see from the camera here that there's not too much of plastic overshadowing the amount of the camera that's you can see here, and there's a nice silver line up there, which of course you're lacking from the bottom of the pink, or the... No, I'm looking at that might actually be brown. Yeah, I think it is actually a brownish colour. Does it say on this what colour it is? Nope. At any rate, I think I'll actually be keeping this on it for the majority, just for the novelty of it. Having a quick look through some of the specs on it, the microSD card slot is only up to 64 gigabytes, which is a bit of a shame. And I'm having a lot of trouble actually distinguishing between this and the other model that has the Qualcomm in it. But from what I can distinguish, the 8 gigabyte version has 1 gigabyte of RAM, and then the 16 gigabyte version has 2 gigabytes of RAM. In saying that, they're listed as having Snapdragon processors, whereas this has the Intel inside. So I'll have to do some further work for the review to find out exactly what they mean by that. But otherwise, initial impressions are that this is quite a nice tablet. The screen is certainly not as sharp as the Samsung Galaxy Tab S 8.4 that I have downstairs. I think this has a PPI of about 189, whereas the Samsung has 321. So it's almost double, really. But given the battery addition to this really does make this a bit of a killer, especially for traveling. And if you put in a sizable SD card, maybe the 64 gigabyte version, you would be able to whack a lot of media on here and enjoy it. Also, using something like a wireless hard drive or something means you could keep Wi-Fi on this all day long with this and not have to worry about the battery dying over the course of the day, as does happen with a great many tablets out there. So it's a good one to consider. It's cheap. You can pick them up starting at around £99 in Currys, and then gradually work your way up through the configurations. There is an S version available as well, the Asus ZenPad S. However, it's not compatible with this battery. There is a 7.0 as well as an 8.0 and a 10.0 indeed as well. So there's a lot of different variants for you to choose from, and in that it actually gets quite confusing and a bit worrying that you don't actually know what you're going to end up buying. because you might see it on sale in Curry's and get it home and realize it's a Qualcomm 8GB 1 gigabyte of RAM version, or it could be off Amazon where you can get a 3GB 32GB version, or maybe even 64 if you can find it, because the website does have a listing for that as well. So in the meantime, I'm gonna sign off here. So that's the Asus ZenPad 8. We're going to put a full review up on the site in the coming weeks. I'm really quite impressed with it initially from the whole look and feel of it. So check back over the next couple of weeks for a full review and for more unboxings. Alright, take care now.